This is CTV News with Lauren Pullen.
Court could be a great way to start that conversation and decide how you're going to help each other.
Making plans and assessing hazards. The report highlighting what could happen if a mega quake shakes the South Coast.
Purpose. They protect them. They're indicators, they're communicators. They use them for a lot of things.
A mystery on a farm in Cowichan. A farmer is speaking out after a horse's tail is cut. Plus, Adam finds out the unexpected story behind a man who has filled his front yard with towering sculptures. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. A recent report from the province is underscoring the gravity of the potential effects of major disasters, including earthquakes. It's BC's first provincial-scale disaster risk assessment since 1997, and it is not painting a pretty picture. CTV's Anna McMillan now with the risk of a mega-thrust earthquake and why it is essential you have a clear understanding of how bad it could be.
If a magnitude 9 earthquake rumbles off the coast of Vancouver Island, human and economic losses could exceed the combined losses of all disasters in BC over the past 200 years. That's according to a recent report from the province, which delves into various disaster threats.
I think it's really important that we have this sort of reporting so that we do capture the full scale of what could happen.
In the event of a major earthquake, the provincial report says 18,000 buildings could be destroyed and economic losses could reach $128 billion.
A magnitude 9 earthquake, it wouldn't be uncommon to have 6s or a 7 as an aftershock. So, even once the main shock is finished, once the significant earthquake is over, we still will be affected by smaller earthquakes, and it can go on for months.
The likelihood of one such earthquake in the next 50 years is 10 to 20%.
It could be another few hundred years. It could be tomorrow. We really can't say.
If it happens anytime soon, there's worry the insurance industry could fail.
We're one of the best capitalized insurance industries in the world, but we're not designed to withstand a mega thrust earthquake like this.
The Insurance Bureau of Canada says other countries, such as Italy, split liability between the private and public sectors.
I'm encouraged by the fact that recently the federal government said they would consult on earthquake systemic risk. That's a great development, a really good opportunity that we need to take advantage of.
A forward-thinking mentality from the feds that the City of Victoria's emergency preparedness team wants everyone to adopt.
We encourage individuals to start off by making a plan. Do that with your family. Gather some supplies. So that could be supplies to support you for at least 7 days.
That means making a plan and stocking a bag with at least a week's worth of supplies to sustain you should disaster strike. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Victoria.
We are getting our first look at Victoria's new emergency response to dangerously cold weather. This winter, city has pivoted from hosting emergency warming locations in brick-and-mortar buildings to tents and buses. Victoria launched its emergency weather response protocol on December 27th for vulnerable residents. Officials say since then, it has seen between 40 to 60 people requiring emergency services each night. Victoria says it will continue hosting 2 pop-up sites tonight and will post the locations on its social media early this evening. Island Health has reopened inpatient admissions at West Coast General Hospital in Port Alberni, and officials are confident another closure won't happen again in the near future. On Christmas Eve, Island Health reopened inpatient admissions as it secured enough doctors to fill its schedule. Island Health paused certain admissions in mid-December due to a shortage of hospitalists, which is a physician who manages the care and treatment of hospitalized patients. Island Health says it was a team effort by physician leadership and the province to resume accepting patients.
I think that what's different is we've been able to really come in with many different teams and many different supports and really uplift the staffing at the site and uplift the environment to be able to create an environment that's more stable and more supportive, that is more comfortable for our physician colleagues to be able to work within. And a big piece of that is the work that the community has been doing as well.
The emergency room did remain open during the temporary pause. However, a diversion for the 3 intensive care unit beds at the hospital remains in place. On the boundary line between Duncan and North Cowichan, a hobby farmer is alerting others after a surprising discovery. One night before Christmas, her tenant found the tail hair on one of her horses had been clipped off. CTV's Yvonne Raymond has more on the mystery.
She is an Arab quarter horse cross.
The owner of a friendly horse in North Cowichan is going public with a puzzling picture.
This is her tail, which normally sits pretty close to the ground. So they've cut off probably 2 feet.
Gypsy's owner and her tenant noticed the mysterious clipping before the holidays, when the horse was brought in from the hobby farm's feeding area after dinner.
I was already in bed for the night, and she just said, did you cut Gypsy's tail? No, of course I did not. She goes, well, she's missing half her tail. It's not chewed. It frays if the animals chew it.
Leanne thinks the person got in cutting a barbed wire fence and took it personally until she heard it happen to someone else nearby.
I have not yet reached out to them, but that's my goal this week, is just to let the police know. I don't know what they can do. I'm not going to, put a lot of pressure on them to solve the big mystery of the horsetail cutting. There's a lot more important things they have to do with their time than this, but more than anything, I just want the community to be aware.
She wonders if a person is trying to use the hair for art.
Their tails serve a purpose. They protect them. They're indicators. They're communicators. They use them for a lot of things. It's not just this fancy thing that hangs down and swishes around.
Leanne says she'll be using fly sheets to protect Gypsy from getting bitten by bugs while they wait for the hair to grow back over the next 2 years. Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, North Cowichan.
A Boxing Day blaze in Nanaimo has city officials scrambling to support around 40 displaced residents. Firefighters responded to the Value Lodge Motel in South Nanaimo early on Boxing Day. The city says flames ravaged the top floor of the motel, forcing residents out of their temporary homes. All are receiving emergency support, and Nanaimo is also reaching out to ask the province for help.
City of Nanaimo staff are working with community partners. We're meeting as of right now, and they're looking to determine short-term and long-term supports for those that are affected by the fire, especially with individual needs for those folks. In addition, community partners and the city, we're reaching out to other provincial ministries to see what other supports may be available.
The city says it will update evacuees tomorrow with next steps. In the meantime, Conservative MP Tamara Cronus is also accepting donations for the victims at her constituency office Tuesday and Thursday. Cowichan Tribes is set to take over full ownership of the Chances Casino in Duncan. The casino is currently a partnership between the Kawatsin Gaming Corporation, which is owned by the Cowichan Tribes, and the Duncan Dabber Society. The pair entered into a partnership in the early 2000s to open the casino. Kawatsin provided the land and funds to build the casino, and the Duncan Dabbers ran the operational side. With this sale, Kawatsin will take over operational duties in early April, with plans to keep all of the current staff. The Duncan Dabbers, which started in 1994 in a bingo hall in Duncan, will continue to receive funds to run their gaming grant program, supporting nonprofit organizations in the Cowichan Valley. The BC Wildfire Service has tallied the numbers, and it looks like 2025 had fewer fires scorching less land. The Wildfire Service says since April 1st of 2025, more than 1,350 wildfires burned a little more than 886,000 hectares of land. That is 347 fewer wildfires this year than in 2024, when 1,697 wildfires burned some 1,087,000 hectares of land, a difference of nearly 195,000 hectares, or roughly 100 City of Victorias. You have to go back to 2020 to find fewer wildfires, when 670 were sparked. The province says it continues to build on lessons learned in every wildfire season by using predictive technology, being able to fight wildfires when it gets dark with night vision equipped air support, and working closely with national and international partnerships.
2025 was an opportunity for us to be able to give back. We had supported 6 provinces as well as a territory, and of course earlier this year in January 2025 we supported our friends in California, CAL FIRE, with the of course devastating fires that occurred in Los Angeles as well. And
so there's some really good positive things that our BC Wildfire Service is doing, but again, a lot of it also relies on us to do everything in our part to fire smart our homes, to fire smart our communities, and to be able to get ahead of some of these things.
The BC Wildfire Service says 54% of wildfires this year were a result of lightning strikes. 44% were human-caused. Still to come, the year from the view of the Premier's office.
It is one thing after another right now.
Front and center.
Premier David Eby looks back at the challenges of 2025 and what he is optimistic about in the new year. And we are sitting at 4 degrees. Caroline will be back after the break for a look at your full forecast.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next trip by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
What makes West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff, working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
Caroline joining us now with a look at the forecast. What's in store for those last few days of 2025, Caroline?
Not too shabby, Lauren. Let's take a look at the satellite radar, shall we? We do have a system moving in that will bring some significant rainfall to the northern part of the island. That will be coming in on Wednesday, late tomorrow, early Wednesday, and that will linger in through the new year. So yes, that's the upper part of the island getting a lot of rain, the lower part not so much. Let's take a look at the North Island, shall we? So you see there a little bit of showers and rest of the week periods of rain beginning in the afternoon. Balmy temps, really, though. High of 10. Soggy New Year's into 2026. The showers remain inland. Mainly cloudy day tomorrow. High of 3 degrees and some clouds for New Year's Eve and a wet start to the new year with periods of rain and a high of 4. Temps go up at just a tad. Heading into the weekend, still showers and high of 6 degrees. As for your West Coast forecast tomorrow, overcast at 9, then a wet and showery end to 25 and into 2026. Still temperatures hovering right around normal. Dry day for Comox tomorrow, mainly cloudy and 5. Grab your umbrellas for New Year's Eve, friends. You're going to need it for the rest of the week with all the showers coming. Highs between 5 and 8 degrees. Nanaimo tomorrow, some sunny breaks and 8 degrees. A wet ending to 2025 and into 2026. Some periods of rain. And finally, Victoria, 8 degrees tomorrow under a mix of sun and cloud. Same for New Year's Eve. Dry and somewhat sunny start to the new year. Later Thursday, the wet weather enters into the picture, and that will remain into the weekend. And that would be your forecast. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. Lauren.
Not too bad, those temperatures anyway.
Not too bad, yeah. Above seasonal.
Thanks, Caroline. It has been a year full of challenges for the province and the NDP government. From Indigenous rights to pipeline politics, there's been plenty of fires for the Premier to douse. He sat down with our Legislative Bureau Chief, Rob Buffum, to reflect on the year that was and what's coming up in 2026, including whether British Columbians will be going to the polls.
Seasonal jacket.
Premier Eby sat down to reflect on a year with plenty of challenges.
It just is one thing after another right now.
Front and center, uncertainty over Indigenous rights and fears from homeowners flowing from recent court cases, notably the Cowichan Tribes case. Eby's government is appealing that case, intends to amend the Interpretation Act related to DRIPA, and recently said he'd consider giving loan guarantees to impacted homeowners in Richmond.
It's important for me to point out some bright lines we have as a province. One of those bright lines is that people's private homes, that businesses, that have private property should not be negotiation chips for reconciliation in government's negotiations or for the courts.
Other conflict that dominated 2025, pipelines. Despite a deal between Alberta and Ottawa laying the groundwork for a potential pipeline to BC's coast, the Premier maintains his opposition to lifting the oil tanker ban, a condition needed for a pipeline to the north coast, and calls any talk of a pipeline to the south, like Vancouver, hypothetical.
Premier Smith has no route, she has no proponent, she has no money, she has nothing except a $20 million communications exercise.
He does acknowledge interprovincial spats between BC and both Saskatchewan and Alberta have been partly fueled by politics.
The temptation is always there for politicians, I include myself in that, to bring politics to the table.
When it comes to politics in BC, he doesn't rule out an early election, but says he knows folks here don't want one.
When British Columbians think about their priorities and what they want out of government, an election is probably at the bottom of the list. And I understand that sentiment, and I feel the same way. For us, we're ready for an election if necessary. We're drawing bright lines around what we will and will not tolerate in terms of the legislature.
With the budget around the corner in February and a massive deficit created by his government, he pledges belt-tightening but won't say when a firm plan to balance the budget is coming.
We are going to ensure that we are bringing that deficit down year over year. We'll let the finance minister roll out her fiscal anchors when she's ready to do that.
On housing, after 15 Metro Vancouver mayors push for the NDP to repeal its housing legislation that allows for multi-unit homes as a right and is seen by some as overreach, not happening, says EB.
We've unfortunately just run into too many cities that are refusing to build those kinds of homes. Now is absolutely the wrong time to back off on housing. You know, we have led the country in seeing declining rents. We've seen almost a 10% reduction in rents in our province in the last 2 years.
On criminal law changes, the Premier says he's in favor of all the proposals from the grieving family of Bailey McCourt, the Kelowna woman allegedly killed by her ex-husband. Changes that include GPS monitoring and a national domestic offender registry.
We're fully supportive of the proposal that Bailey's family has brought forward.
Regarding the controversial decriminalization of small amounts of most street drugs, a pilot project largely pulled back and up for renewal in January, he says he'd support keeping the law as it presently stands.
Currently, we have an exemption in a very limited situation of somebody overdosing at their house, being able to call 911 and expect that the ambulance shows up instead of a police car to arrest them. I think that makes a lot of sense.
As for the beleaguered forestry sector in the recent shutdown of a mill in Crofton, Premier Eby offered a sliver of hope for the new year.
We're going to do all we can to get that mill reopened. There are proposals around how we might be able to get that back up on its feet. I really hope we'll explore every opportunity to do that.
A new year that will come with a fresh slate of challenges piled on to the existing ones. Robert Buffum, CTV News, Victoria.
A black bear cub found clinging to life in sub-zero temperatures in northern BC could make a full recovery after being taken to a wildlife rescue facility. It was minus 34 degrees the night before volunteers located the orphaned one-year-old bear cub curled up at the base of a tree near Dawson Creek. It took a great deal of work in deep snow, but the volunteers managed to get the bear into a crate and carry it out of the woods. As they slowly warmed the animal up, they realized that in addition to suffering from exposure, the cub also had significant burns.
It burned part of her fur off, it burned her face, it burned her feet, front feet quite severely. However, the wildlife vet feels that was good care. She will be able to survive and be fully functioning later on.
Staff at the rescue center have named the female cub Valkyrie. They say she will be cared for until the spring, when she will be released near where she was found. Coming up, Sculpture Garden. Adam finds out the story behind a man who has filled his front yard with towering sculptures. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Finally tonight, Adam finds out the story behind a front yard filled with towering sculptures on this Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Beyond that symbol on the sidewalk,
I did that with a power wash.
And through this gate he keeps open for anyone to enter,
They come and they peek and sometimes they stop.
Is a yard filled with towering sculptures.
So here there's many stories.
But the story behind how Lorenzo De Francesco unexpectedly made them all,
This is when I was a little boy.
Begins when he was just 7, growing up in Italy.
I woke up in the middle of the night.
The boy felt compelled to cut a broomstick in half, take a pair of scissors apart, and spent the rest of the night crafting a knife, which felt wonderful.
So there was a kind of working with my hands, an easiness.
By the time Lorenzo was a teenager, he was creating copies of famous paintings and dreaming of attending the art academy.
But my mother said, you better get a job.
So he studied chemistry instead and got a great job, but felt something was missing until he found the works of on-the-road author Jack Kerouac.
And I thought this man lived the life.
So Lorenzo left his life in Europe and embarked on an epic road trip across America. But things did not work out the way he'd hoped.
And then you become nothing in San Francisco, and you're starving, and then you come here, you are nobody, you sleep in a closet.
Lorenzo says he was overwhelmed with anxiety before happening upon someone carving on the street and suddenly saw the possibilities of what his life could be.
That I realized I can do that too. And then I realized that I was unstoppable.
Since then, Lorenzo moved to Canada, built this home studio, and now creates sculptures exploring all the lessons he's learned on the road of life.
Life will take you where you need to go without you knowing where you're going.
And life is also like transforming a slab of stone into a work of art. And it's up to us how we choose to sculpt each day.
Hopefully that you can do what you really like. It's a beautiful gift. But life is a gift itself.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
Great advice. And that is it for CTV News Vancouver Island tonight. Thank you so much for sharing part of your day with us. Have a great night. Today on CTV News.
Just horrified for her children, and for, more broadly, the community of Merritt.
The police watchdog now investigating after a Merritt mother was killed weeks before Christmas. Why the IIO was called in, also tonight.
We were getting calls that they were at a zero value.
Giving the gift of gift cards only to find out many were already empty. How a local business owner is pushing for answers, and how you can protect yourself from falling victim. And
little did I know it's the first ever seen in Canada.
Eye to the sky. What has bird watchers flocking to a lower mainland beach, and just how far people are coming to catch a glimpse.
This is CTV News with Lauren Puller.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin tonight with reaction to news the BC's police watchdog is investigating the RCMP about the death earlier this month of a Merritt mother of 6, allegedly killed by her husband. CTV's Rob Buffum joins us now live from Victoria with more. Rob?
Lauren, it is a tragedy that's rocked the community and one that triggered an IIO investigation, as you noted, after concerns were raised by the Battered Women's Support Services. 45-year-old Pamela Jarvis was killed on December 16th. Her husband, Christopher Jarvis, is charged with second-degree murder in her death. Pamela Jarvis told a friend that she had called police 6 days before her death and was concerned for her life. She was planning a separation from him. She said her husband had torn the doors off the family home. He was arrested, but reportedly returned to the home 5 hours later.
Just horrified for her children, and for, more broadly, the community of Merritt. I mean, what are we trying to do here? What are we doing here? We have been, at least since the 1990s, creating a framework for victims to have support, to have a resource. And much of the conversation over the years has been about encouraging victims, encouraging women and victim survivors to make reports, to call the police.
Battered Women's Support Services called for the IIO investigation. It wants to see risk assessments in the context of intimate partner violence better implemented by police, and for the province and municipalities to provide better public awareness about domestic violence, including things like the location of safe homes in communities, such as the one near Merritt. Christopher Jarvis is set to appear in court in Merritt on January 6th. The IIO tells me that it's not sure when its review or investigation will be completed. It's unlikely that criminal charges will be laid against police or RCMP in this instance, but there could be recommendations or policy considerations or training for police suggested. Lauren.
Thanks for the update tonight, Rob. A man has been arrested and charged after allegedly slashing someone in the face inside a Yaletown nightclub.
My understanding is there was some kind of altercation, which resulted in one man receiving a slash across his face with a knife. Witnesses then intervened, provided first aid to that victim while someone else called police.
Police responded to reports of an assault inside Pierre's Champagne Lounge near Nelson and Hamilton at around 3 a.m. The victim was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 31-year-old Delta resident Paramveer Singh Jahuti, who is known to police, was arrested outside and now faces a charge of aggravated assault. Police do not believe the attack was random. The Vancouver Whitecaps have reached a proposed settlement in a class action lawsuit over the no-show of soccer superstar Lionel Messi last year. Marketing for the May 25th, 2024 match heavily featured the Argentine captain, but he didn't show for the game at BC Place that more than 51,000 people bought tickets for. However, not all fans who bought tickets are on side with the lawsuit.
If you bought a Lakers ticket expecting to see LeBron James, like, he's sitting out half the season just for load management these days. So I think you gotta have realistic expectations that athletes on team sports don't play every game.
And yes, there are promotional materials depicting members of that team, whether they are playing or not. That's almost irrelevant in that sense that, like, what you buy a ticket for is Inter Miami versus the Whitecaps, Seattle Sounders versus Vancouver Whitecaps.
Under the proposed settlement, the club will make a $457,000 donation to a number of charities and make ticketing terms more prominent. We are a little more than 6 months out from the World Cup coming to Canada, the U.S. and Mexico. And while there's plenty of excitement, including here in Vancouver, high ticket prices remain a hot-button issue. Despite complaints from fans, FIFA's president is defending the price tag.
FIFA is the only organization in the world, and that's why I have to say that, and I want to say that finances football in the entire world. Without FIFA, there will be no football in 150 countries in the world. The World Cup,
FIFA's top boss says the high prices are a reflection of the demand by fans to watch the games. But fans have slammed the cost of tickets, which have been much higher compared to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Troubling news for anyone needing emergency or maternity care in Fraser Health. The ongoing physician shortage is forcing one local emergency room to close overnight, while another hospital won't be able to provide maternity care. Here's CTV's Craig Krause with the details.
We're here outside of Peace Arch Hospital, where anyone having a baby will have to go elsewhere. Fraser Health says it comes down to a temporary lack of available OBGYNs. The health authority warned families that staffing issues could happen over the holidays. The diversions are scheduled to begin today and end at 8 a.m. on Thursday. The hospital staffing struggles don't stop here. Also starting today, the emergency room at Mission Memorial Hospital will only be operating from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 9 days straight, leaving Abbotsford Regional Hospital and Ridge Meadows Hospital as nearby 24-hour options. There have now been 6 other times this year Mission has faced a lack of staff, leading to a rally last month.
Recruitment and retention and staffing issues for the emergency departments across Fraser Health and across the province, and probably even across the country, have been difficult.
Fraser Health says many temporary physicians who fill in live closer to the coast and have other options. But with renovations inside the hospital after a flood, they believe this could be an answer to maintain staff.
They're in the midst of renovations. We're actively working towards having a very modern emergency department at Mission, and we suspect that that will lead to physicians stepping up and wanting to work at a Mission more and retaining more physicians as well at that point in time.
And this morning, the mayor of Mission sent me a statement saying that he is urging the province to redouble their efforts in finding physicians while also making it easier for internationally trained medical professionals to join the system. But in the meantime, communities are left waiting. Craig Krause, CTV News, White Rock.
While BC may not have seen as much destruction from wildfires in 2025, we are getting an idea of just how much land was impacted this year. Since April 1st, more than 1,350 wildfires burned nearly 900,000 hectares of land in BC. That is down from the previous 2 years, including 2023's record-breaking wildfire season with more than 2.8 million hectares burned. BC Wildfire Service reports that 85% of wildfires in 2025 were contained to less than 4 hectares. The hard work of firefighters in BC also allowed them to support our neighbors throughout the year.
2025 was an opportunity for us to be able to give back. We had supported 6 provinces as well as a territory, and of course earlier this year in January 2025 we supported our friends in California, CAL FIRE, with the of course devastating fires that occurred in Los Angeles as well.
According to the BC Wildfire Service, just over half of the wildfires in BC this year were a result of lightning strikes. The rest were caused by people. If you're heading to Whistler anytime soon, a warning tonight about a suspected scam targeting drivers. What you need to watch out for. That story's coming up. But first, more newly bought gift cards turning up already empty. A local business owner now sounding the alarm, and how experts say you can prevent it from happening to you. A rockfall has forced the closure of the main hiking trail on the Squamish Chief in Squamish. Hikers are being asked to avoid the area entirely until it has been assessed. No injuries were reported, though, and there is no estimated time frame for reopening. For the second time in a week, a member of the public has contacted CTV News with complaints about fraudulent gift cards being sold at local retailers. In the last instance, one woman is out thousands of dollars. CTV's Ben Milger has the details and some tips on how consumers can protect themselves.
28 cards.
Jen Hamilton thought gift cards would be the perfect prizes for her corporate holiday party. She spent $2,400 at this Yaletown Shoppers Drug Mart on cards for a variety of stores, restaurants, and online services. Within days, it became clear something was amiss.
Well, we were getting calls that they were at a zero value.
Of the 28 cards purchased, so far only one, for $100, has worked. Fraudsters somehow managed to drain the balance on each of the others people have tried to use. Hamilton says the shoppers only refunded her $100 for one of the fraudulent cards, telling her to call a 1-800 number to try to recover the rest of the money. So far, she hasn't been successful.
This is a scam that's been going on for decades.
Financial technology analyst Claudiu Popa says it is not a sophisticated scam, especially when would-be fraudsters have access to the unsold cards on store shelves.
They either scratch off or heat the little cover over the pin. They reveal the pin, they copy the pin, and then on a daily basis, they check to see whether the card has been activated.
Consumers can better protect themselves by only purchasing gift cards kept out of reach behind the counter, or better yet, bypassing third-party retailers altogether and getting the cards directly from the brands, preferably online.
I am very, very frustrated with Shoppers Drug Mart.
In the meantime, Hamilton has taken to social media, reaching out to people who attended her party because she doesn't even know who has the outstanding cards or if those cards will work.
Going to a store and trying to purchase something or going for dinner and then not having any value on the card is, number one, embarrassing. And I mean, what if somebody didn't have their wallet with them?
Loblaw, the parent company of Shoppers Drug Mart, says it has reached out to Hamilton to make things right. As of Monday afternoon, a variety of gift cards remain easily accessible on store shelves. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
Meanwhile, in Whistler, fraudulent QR codes have been found on pay parking terminals in what is believed to be a credit card scam. The codes were found on Saturday, directing people to a fake pay-by-phone website designed to collect payment. Officials say municipal parking in Whistler does not use QR codes for payment, and anyone who scanned those codes should contact their credit card company. All right, Caroline is in next with a look at the forecast for the final few days of 2025. And what has bird watchers flocking to Vancouver? The first of its kind sighting, and how far people are coming just to catch a glimpse. All right, we'll take you to a live look outside, a bird's eye view of all those lovely lights in the city. Caroline joining us now with a check-in with the forecast. Final few days of 2025. Caroline, what's on tap?
too shabby, as you saw there, for Vancouver. Let's take a look a little bit closer, shall we? Pretty clear tonight, a little bit of cloud cover, but into tomorrow morning, we've got a little bit of cloud coming in, a little clear toward the valley, but that will change as the day goes on. More clouds enter into the picture, but the big story here, it's going to be dry heading into New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. More on that in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at the forecast for tomorrow, beginning in the southern interior. Mix of sun and cloud throughout. Some mixed precipitation in Kamloops and Revelstoke, though, and highs just a touch below freezing. As for Williams Lake and Quesnel, you're going to see significant snowfall tomorrow. Prince George, periods of snow. Bella Coola, a little bit of rain there, and a high of 5 degrees. As for the north, some showers along the coast, as you can see there, and some flurries in Dease Lake and Fort St. John. Mix of sun and cloud in Fort Nelson and Smithers. Look at that, minus 23 in Fort Nelson. Yikes. To the North Island now, Port Hardy, mainly cloudy with a little bit of showers. High of 10 degrees, mainly cloudy in Campbell River, Comox, high of 5. As for the South Island, it's going to be a cloudy overcast day tomorrow in Tofino, Port Alberni, Nanaimo, mainly cloudy skies. High of 7 in Nanaimo, Gulf Islands. You're going to see a little bit of sunshine tomorrow. Sunny breaks, 7 degrees, Victoria, mainly cloudy skies, and a high of 8. Powell River Seashell, 6 degrees under some cloud cover there. Whistler, 0 degrees and mix of sun and cloud in Squamish. As for the lower mainland, between 6 and 7 degrees, we're going to see a mix of sun and cloud, but as the day goes on, we're going to see more cloud than sun. But the big question, Lauren, everyone wants to know, what's New Year's Eve going to look like? Pretty decent, friends, pretty decent. It's going to cloud over and get cooler. Look at that, 3 degrees overnight. So bring your parka and toque if you're going celebrating, but and then rain a little later on in the week.
I was going to say, any day without rain this time of year in Vancouver is a win.
It's a gift.
Even bird watching weather. Thanks so much,
Perfect.
Carolyn. And bird watchers are flocking to Vancouver to catch a glimpse of a rare bird. The taiga flycatcher has been seen perched in Sunset Beach Park on Christmas Day. The species typically spends the summer in northern Asia and winters in southern Asia, and there's only been one other recorded sighting of the bird in mainland North America 20 years ago in California. Vancouver resident and bird photographer Ethan Moon was the first to spot it while out for a walk on the seawall.
Walking along Beach Ave on the sidewalk, I noticed this tiny little bird just flying near the base of trees and lower branches. So I took some pictures and sent them to some friends, and they started messaging me back like, oh my goodness, that's a taiga flycatcher, that's super rare. And little did I know it's the first ever seen in Canada.
Now, when word got out in the birding community, people from across Canada and even across the border came to Vancouver to snap photos of the rare taiga bird. One woman flew in from Hamilton, Ontario, just to see it with her own eyes. Well, if you're looking for some new dining spots to try out over the holiday season, stick with us. Your foodie forecast is next. And oh my God, someone help! Hailed heroes, how kids jumped into action to save a choking bus driver. It is time now to dig into the foodie forecast, our weekly segment on restaurants that are opening soon or closing their doors. A new restaurant has taken over the popular vegan spot Chi in Kitsilano. Glass House opened its doors this month, and they are aiming to please both plant-based and meat eaters alike. From steak and saffron couscous to smoked tofu kombucha curry, they hope their food brings in everyone in the neighborhood and brings them together. A Top Chef champion is bringing the flavors of his new culture to a downtown restaurant. Chanti Yen, the season 11 winner of Top Chef Canada, has opened the doors to Tuk, what he calls Canada's first contemporary Cambodian restaurant. Located on Alberni Street between Thurlow and Butte, Tuk will offer dinner-only service 5 days a week, but they do have plans to add lunch and brunch in the new year. And a much-loved coffee shop in Fraser Hood has just opened a new location downtown. From handcrafted pours to specialty drinks with homemade syrups, Slow Coffee offers something for everybody. The owners also put a lot of thought into the atmosphere, saying everything they do is about encouraging connection and presence. All right, time now to bring in Nafisa Karim with a look at what's on tap for CTV News at 6. Nafisa.
Lauren, we're following a tragedy at a major ski resort in Banff. A Toronto mother dies after falling into a pocket of deep snow while skiing on a green run. What the resort is saying about what could have happened. We've also got a bit of a mystery on Vancouver Island. Someone cut a couple of feet off the tail of this woman's horse. The question now is why, and how a mother whose baby died while napping at a daycare is turning tragedy into advocacy. I'll be back at 6.
Thanks, Nafisa. A pair of students on board a school bus jumped into action when the bus driver started choking, and a police department welcomes the newest member to the force. Jeremy Roth now with today's Take a Look at This.
Heroes can come in all ages. It's a good thing, too, because when a school bus driver in Ohio began choking behind the wheel, it was the kids on the bus that came to her rescue. Video shared by Crestview Schools shows the moment the driver began suffering the medical emergency.
Oh my God, someone help.
Several kids on the bus immediately jumped into action, including a teen who grabbed the radio and called for help.
We need help on Folk Road, bus 8, bus driver can't breathe.
WEWS reports the quick actions of the young passengers ended up saving the driver, who was transferred to a hospital for treatment and later released. A professional responder trained for just this type of emergency was called upon to save a choking baby while off duty and at home. According to WABC, NYPD officer Freddie Serpa says his neighbor arrived frantic at his door with a 1-year-old girl who wasn't breathing. They had called 911 but knew Serpa was trained and close by. Serpa administered a combination of gentle back blows and checking for obstructions, and the child began breathing again just as paramedics arrived. The first-year officer says his mission is to preserve life, and he's glad he was in the right place at the right time. Finally, sometimes it's the officers who need support, and sometimes that support comes in the form of a sweet little puppy. This is Monty, a 1-year-old spaniel mix in training to become an official emotional support animal at the Sherman Police Department in Texas. The department's chief says officers deal with a lot of stress on the job, and a fluffy friend like Monty can offer an invaluable form of relief.
You see this little guy roaming around our hallways. I don't know how it couldn't brighten your day a little bit.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
I mean, how can you do anything but smile seeing that little trot coming down the hall?
Monty, the little ears going. I'll be okay.
Oh my gosh, sweetest ever. All the puppy snuggles all the time is what I would do,
please.
Caroline.
Yes, please.
And of course, we do have to end the show with another amazing furry animal story, a pretty remarkable one. A record-breaking feline, Caroline, who is celebrating a historic birthday. This is Flossie, a British domestic short-haired tortoiseshell. And she turned, can you believe it, an astounding 30 years old today.
Oh, look at her. She's still got it.
Of course. As you might expect, she holds the Guinness World Record as the world's oldest living cat. Now, despite being deaf and having limited eyesight, Flossie does enjoy waking up early for breakfast and spending her day napping and playing, don't we all? 30 cat years, Caroline, works out to be 136 human years. I really hope that Flossie got spoiled for Christmas.
I would hope so. 30 years, what was it, 100 and something? But yeah, all right.
Christmas naps, too.
Yeah, exactly, like we all need. But look at our scenic snapshot. No Flossie, but wow, beautiful shot. Thank you, Blaine Barton, for sending this in. If you want your photo featured, email us scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
It is a beautiful one. Thanks, Caroline. And we'll return for CTV News at 6 with Nafisa. Right now, though, here is CTV National News. Have a great night.